is, of course, with the exception of what scientists call the Baghdad battery.
The Baghdad battery was discovered in ancient Iraq. Scholars today say there's no way that ancient man was using electricity or light bulbs. So they look at this Baghdad battery, and there's about a dozen of them that have been found in Iraq. And the only mainstream theory is that they were using it for electroplating jewelry.
Two major proponents of ancient alien theory, Jason Martel and Giorgio Tsoukalos, demonstrate just how the Baghdad battery could generate electricity using a modern mock-up of the device.
Well, basically this is made out of a clay pot, clay just found naturally in that region in southern Iraq, and then they would use a small copper lining and something along the lines of an asphalt stopper wrapped around an iron rod, and these all applied together, and the combination of some weak acidic acid, vinegar, grape juice, orange juice in this case, wine, would be able to generate a charge by combining these elements with the iron rod and the copper, and the combination of that creates an abundance of electricity. So what we're going to do is basically just fill the clay pot with some orange juice here. I'll try not to spill it too much. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and put the copper rod back in there, copper and iron rod. We'll give it a moment to kind of fill that copper area there. And then by turning on the voltmeter and applying this to each side, we should be able to generate a charge. And there it goes, into the positive. And if we give it some time to get the electrolytes really buzzing in there, you'll see that this volt will actually continue to rise.
But while some see the Baghdad battery as evidence that man was sparked on by extraterrestrial wisdom, others look at it and simply say, so what?
You could take some ancient technology like the Baghdad battery, which probably was used for something like metal plating, in which you just mix chemicals and it has certain chemical reactions to it that they're using for this reason, and we can take and put a voltmeter on and go, oh look, we're able to get a reading out of it. Well, so what? That's just a chemical reaction. If they were using it, say this battery, to operate other machines, where are the other machines? If they were sending the electricity down wires, where are all the wires that would have been all over the culture? In other words, it's not likely a one-off invention like that is going to survive without all the other inventions that would have been there at the same time.
It is a battery, everybody agrees with that, but nobody knows why they made it and how they made it. What mind would think of that? You know, electrical current backed several thousand years ago? It's very strange, but it's clearly a battery.
The whole idea that ancient civilizations actually had knowledge of electricity and used electricity is an accepted archaeological fact today. Just like in our own civilization, where about 200 years ago, Benjamin Franklin and other scientists began experimenting with simple electrical devices, we now have evidence that over 3,000 years ago, people were also experimenting with electrical devices. Where